Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a massive industry in Egypt that's quietly changing its entire economy. It's a multi-billion-dollar powerhouse that, believe it or not, you've probably interacted with already, maybe even this week, and you had no idea.
Okay, picture this. You call your bank. Let's say it's based in London or New York, and you need to sort something out. The person who picks up sounds like they could be in the next neighborhood, but they're actually sitting in Cairo or Alexandria. Now, that is not a coincidence. It's actually the most obvious sign of a huge global business, and Egypt is right at the center of it all. So, how on earth did Egypt become a global hub for this? Well, that's what we're going to figure out. We'll start with that phone call, then uncover the economic engine driving it, reveal Egypt's four-part secret sauce for success, look at some mind-blowing numbers, and finally, talk about how you might fit into this whole digital wave. Let's jump in.
Right. So that whole experience, talking to an Egyptian agent for a company that's halfway across the world, it actually has a name, and it's the key to this entire story.
It's called outsourcing. And honestly, the concept is pretty simple. Think about a German car company. They're amazing at building cars, right? But running a huge customer service department in Germany is super expensive. So instead of doing that, they hire a specialized company in Egypt to handle all their customer calls. The German company saves a ton of money, and the Egyptian company creates thousands of jobs. It's a classic win-win, and now it's happening for everything from IT support to cybersecurity and software development.
And look, this isn't just some small niche business. We're talking about an industry that has gotten so big, it's now a major source of income for the entire country, right up there with giants like the Suez Canal and tourism. It's basically a brand new pillar of the Egyptian economy.
Which, of course, leads to the big question. Why Egypt? I mean, you've got established hubs like India and the Philippines. What is it about Egypt that's making all these global companies set up shop there? Well, it turns out Egypt has a very unique recipe for success.
Yeah, it really all boils down to what we're calling the secret sauce. 4 key ingredients that make Egypt a totally irresistible destination for these big global companies.
Let's break it down. First up, location. Egypt's time zone is just perfect. It can serve Europe, the Middle East, and Africa all during the same business day. Second, and this is a huge one, talent. The source material literally calls it a real treasure of young, educated graduates who speak multiple languages. Third, you've got cost. Companies get top-tier service for just a fraction of what it would cost them back home. And finally, infrastructure. The government has poured billions into upgrading its internet and fiber optic networks, which means everyone gets a stable, super reliable connection.
And to really hammer home that talent point, get this number. Egypt produces 500,000 graduates in engineering and IT every single year. That is a massive, constantly refreshing pool of skilled workers that global tech companies are just lining up to hire.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but what do the actual numbers say? Well, let me tell you, the data paints an absolutely incredible picture of just explosive growth.
Just look at this. In the span of 1 year, from 2022 to 2023, the outsourcing sector grew by a whopping 54%. At the exact same time, Egypt's digital exports jumped by over 26%. You know, that's not slow and steady. That's a rocket ship taking off.
So what does all that growth actually look like in dollars? A staggering $6.2 billion. And to give you some perspective on that, that's a number that's starting to seriously compete with some of the country's most famous moneymakers like tourism.
And the crazy part is, the momentum is still building. The government just signed deals with 55 new global companies to either start or expand their operations in Egypt. It's pretty clear the world is paying attention. And this slide really shows you the kind of companies that are coming in. We're not talking about small fish here. These are giants, like Conecta from Spain. They didn't just open an office. They moved their regional headquarters to Egypt, investing over $100 million and building a cutting-edge AI hub. Or take Conflict, an American cybersecurity firm that runs its entire U.S. operations from its base in Cairo. The big takeaway here is that this is way beyond just call centers now. We're talking about high-tech, high-value work.
Now, it might be easy to think that all this incredible growth just happened by accident. But it's not a coincidence at all. This boom is the direct result of a very deliberate, very ambitious national strategy. The government's Digital Egypt strategy is laser-focused on three main goals. First, they want to triple the money coming from digital services by 2026. Second, they're aiming to create 215,000 high-skilled jobs every year. And third, they're aggressively marketing Egypt as a top global destination for everything from AI and data analysis to designing computer chips. This is a very calculated plan to dominate the industry.
As one source perfectly put it, the train has already left the station. This isn't something that's about to happen, it's happening right now, and it is moving incredibly fast.
So what does this all mean for you? Well, it means there's a huge opportunity here. If you want to get on board this train, the path forward is pretty clear. You've got to have strong language skills, that's a must. But beyond that, getting expertise in these really high-demand fields like cybersecurity, data analysis, software engineering, and AI, that's what will put you right in the driver's seat. The market is absolutely starving for these skills.
Which brings us to our final question. The government has set this really ambitious goal, $9 billion in digital exports by 2026. Now, based on all the momentum we've seen, it definitely seems possible. But the real question isn't just about the number. It's about how this massive digital shift will continue to transform the future of Egypt and its role in the global economy.